Hello mates, this is adreN from Team Dynamic. I'm going to be doing a Ruska video today. We'll talk about T-side, we'll talk about taking the A bomb site. AZK didn't want to do a video this week because he said this map was shitty, so I'm just going to quickly make another video for you guys. So I'll tell you how to take halls here, and halls is an important part of the map in terms of map control. If you can have halls as a terrorist, the CTs won't know like if you're actually outside of the halls here with like 4 people ready to just explode on the site, or if you have one guy here that could throw a fake for you. So they won't be able to properly rotate the CTs and stack sites efficiently if you have halls control. So it might be important as a terrorist to create a default on your terrorist side where you try to take the halls. Another important spot in terms of map control in Ruska is to take cat. If you can have both on a default, your options for executing a strat are limitless, so you have every option you want. But we're not going to talk about the B site here. We're going to talk about taking the halls area on a default, and I'll show you how we like to take it. So first, I like to creep up here with an op, and I usually like to just crouch peek right here. Oops, I'm fat. Crouch peek right here to make sure no one's peeking. Now I might hold this for, like 3 or 4 seconds, and then I'll switch with my rifle. I'll have my rifle hold it like this for me, while I go across like this, and I'm gonna look at the floor with my op out. And this way, a guy that's at the end of halls here won't be able to see me cross. Things you don't want to do is you don't want to look like normal height here and walk across like this. They will see your head and he will be able to see you and shoot you. And you don't want to have your pistol out so that your op, if you have an op, it's on your back because your op will be sticking out. So you want to make sure your op is out and you're looking at the floor so you can get across to this side. You could stand up and then quick peek the end of the halls here, and then you're just going to hold this the entire time. And what your rifle is going to do is creep up and at the very last second run and clear this out. You don't really want to walk a right-sided peek where I'm coming around the right side, because if there is a guy here, he's going to have the reaction time. He's going to have the advantage because he's going to see this guy before this guy can see the guy that's behind the barrel. So at the very last moment, you might just want to come up and just run out and use like the little bit of interp that you have as an advantage. What you definitely don't want to do is hug the right here or hug the left side and walk out like this, because you'll definitely be at an advantage. Other things you can do to make sure they're not there is simply just nade that guy right there. You could double nade that guy and for sure he's dead. Or if you have one nade, you hear he's there, you could have your op. If you post it up here, just watching the end, that barrel would not be there. He's just like this. He's like, I'm gonna flash your barrels for you. He flashes the barrels, and your rifle runs up and clears it out while this guy is still holding this. And if there is a guy barrels and you like find out he's there, flash him, this guy at the end of halls for sure is gonna peek. And this should be a free frag for this guy just holding the position. So that's how we take halls. And yeah. Alright, so let's say on your default you got a halls control, and then your strat caller just says, let's just do an A strat. So you have 2 halls, and then since you already have halls control, you don't really need to fight these people here. You could just simply, from either side, you just want to smoke the top of the ramp, so you can just bounce it off either side of the wall. You could simply smoke the top of the ramp, and this gives you free positioning to smoke off whatever else you want, and they'll just freely flash the site without being shot at. So what you want to do here, because you kind of want the halls guys, you don't want these guys throwing nades and flashes, you want these guys to just gun out on the nade work from down below ramp. Let's just show, if you do want to throw a fake and you have just one guy here, he could simply smoke right off that corner and flash himself out like that, so at least he's not getting shot from an opper here, and he can cause some havoc and they won't really be able to call numbers. Might be able to get one under the balcony here. So that's a quick way to fake it. But let's go back to the A strat. So if we simply just smoke the top of this, there's 2 good flashes you want. You want one to the right hitting off of the 2 box. We call this 2 box, just 1, 2. So you kind of want one flash off here, and it's going to blind any guy on here, and it'll blind a guy on a roof too. And then you want one flash that's underneath here to flash that guy. So you only really need 2 flashes and 1 smoke. What you really want is a smoke here, and you kind of want to wing. I'm saying that a lot, Jesus. You want to throw a smoke off the 2 box, and you can kind of feel out where it is. Like, it's not that hard. So one there, and one underneath the balcony, and boom, your halls goes out, just like that. And then these guys here, after he flashes that, these guys just simply come out, and their main spot to check is the roof right away. So yeah, maybe you shouldn't run this. I ran it and it went too far. Yeah, you don't want to run this smoke. You could simply just toss it like that, and that'll smoke out that guy. Another good way of if they're playing a passive setup and you don't have halls control but you still want to hit an A, a good thing to do is to have your rifle creep up the left side here, and he's just coming up as far as he can without being seen. So like right here, and then you have the opper coming up here and just checking the stuff out like this. And what he wants to do is just to get here at this position and just post up at halls, because usually if they're not peeking this stuff, you'd execute the strat. If the opper's down here, he's like, yo, they're playing passive, they're not peeking me. This is where you do that. You'd be like, yo, rifler, creep up the left wall, and I'm gonna pick halls. He gets to this position and he just wants to hold this, because for sure they're probably playing a halls guy here and 1 barrels if they're not peeking sight. So what he's gonna do is just hold this and just wait for this guy to re-peek him, and usually he'll re-peek ramp and boom, you get this free kill, and that's when you execute. But if you still want to execute without this guy peeking you and getting the kill, at the very last second you'd have your rifler just smoke like this, flash, and then this guy would flash like this, your opper. He'd take his op out real quick, he'd flash like that, and your rifle would just clear this out like this. And it's really good to go across on this area because you can just run up like that, and you won't have to jump over this part and just like get the really bad jumping penalty, and plus you're in the air and you can't shoot correctly. So that would be the perfect way to execute a slow creep on A. It's just like this. Your other teammate flashed that, and you just go out like this, check roof, check underneath, and check the sight box. And since you don't have the halls control, if you were to just creep up ramp, you would just have, you know, 2 or 3, probably 3 come up the ramp, and you want to make sure that you're just holding this halls, and you're just going to squeeze these guys back from both ways, and you should be able to easily squeeze these guys. Make sure to stay updated on our player blogs. You can locate them under community and then blogs. For certain players' blogs, simply go to the player page. And also make sure to stay updated and like us on facebook.com/teamdynamic.